Welcome back to C.O. Brown Stadium in Battle Creek, Michigan, where tonight the Colorado Silver Bullets are taking on the Kalamazoo Yankees. The Yankees come in with a record of 11-10. They are comprised of gentlemen from 20 to 61 years old. And our own Julie Proto had a chance to talk with some of the Yankees on their thoughts about playing the first women's professional baseball team, the Colorado Silver Bullets.
I imagine this is the first time you played against women. How do you feel about that versus playing men?
I do not misjudge or underestimate women's talents, and these women here, I'm sure, are fine ball players, and we certainly have our work cut out for us.
I understand your daughters are going to be here tonight, and they may or may not be rooting for your team.
They're holding out their loyalties right now. They at one point were saying women kick butt, but we'll see about that. I think they'll pull for old dad after all.
Well, our players are fairly decent. We expect to have a lot of fun, hopefully play some good defense. And we're not sure what to expect from the girls, but I hope it's a good game and entertaining for the fans, because we'd really like to be up there watching ourselves, because we're kind of a little apprehensive.
And the Yankees admitted they do want to win this game. Here is the starting lineup for the Kalamazoo Yankees. Scott Melvin will lead it off, and he'll play center field. Owen Mergen bats number 2. He'll play second base. On the mound, Jeff Laporte will bat number 3. Tom Vanderberg will bat in the cleanup spot. He'll play first base. Dave Back bats number 5. He'll do the catching. In left field, Nib Reisterer. He'll bat number 6. Mike Perkowski is at number 7, playing third base. Joe Janker plays right field, bats number 8. And Matt Pienta will bat number 9, and he'll play shortstop. Defensively for the Colorado Silver Bullets, from left to right field, Carrie Kropke, Angie Marzetta, and Shannon Mitchum play the outfield. Stacy Sonny at third, Tony Heisler plays short. Michelle McEnany at second base, Tamara Ivey at first. Shannon Kimberling will do the catching. And on the mound with a record of 2-3, a 5.17 ERA, Pam Davis doing a little last-minute checking with pitching coach Joe Necro and her catcher Shannon Kimberling.
Well, Pam Davis has certainly come a long way in 12 months. Historically, she has trouble in the early innings. This is her 9th appearance, her 7th start, and she has 13 walks in 38 innings.
And we did mention there's been an hour-and-a-half rain delay, so Pam Davis has been frustrated by the stopping and starting here in Southwest Michigan. But Julie, you and I saw her in the dugout. She was frustrated, but certainly in a very, very good mental frame of mind, ready to take the mound.
Very, very ready to go.
Manager Phil Necro, he is on a confidence high. He says his team has won 3 of the last 4. They're probably playing some of the best baseball this women's professional baseball team has played in their entire 2-year history.
They've improved offensively, defensively. Their pitchers are just amazing this year. They have an ERA of 4.53 as opposed to last year's combined ERA, which is 7.09.
Silver Bullets coming off a win in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma against the Tinker Air Force Base. That was a 1-0 forfeit win, and quite a story that has hit national headlines behind that game.
Apparently the Air Force has been getting phone calls from across the nation this year, and not pleasant ones.
We'll cut to the chase with that. The story being that the Air Force Base had flown in some ringers to Oklahoma City. They have the luxury to do that. They had guys change uniform numbers. Phil Necro found out, protested.
Your tax dollars at work right there. Yeah, apparently the catcher was wearing number 5, and he weighed about 170 pounds in the beginning of the game, and by the end of the game, he weighed about 220.
Scotty Bud Melvin, a local radio personality, is set to lead it off for the Kalamazoo Yankees. Pam Davis's first pitch is in there for strike 1. Julie, you had mentioned how important it is for Pam Davis to get ahead of batters early and often. Settle her confidence down a little bit.
Sure, Pam knows that if she can't control herself, really, that she's not going to be able to control the ball. She looks like she's going to be in fine form tonight.
What I understand, Scott Melvin's done quite a big talking game coming into this Kalamazoo Yankee game against the Silver Bullets.
I asked him before the game, and he said he had guaranteed a hit. And I said, well, what happens if you don't get a hit since you guaranteed your audience a hit? He said, well, I suppose there'll be a public flogging of sorts. But he seemed very, very confident. Apparently, he's been taking batting lessons in preparation for tonight's game.
Count stays at 1-2, although Shannon Kimberling takes a shot in the shin, trying to shake it off back there. She is an iron workhorse, Shannon Kimberling.
Without a doubt. She said she feels much more comfortable now behind the plate than she did in the beginning of the year. Looks like that got her right on the inner thigh. I tell you, you have to be a little crazy to be a catcher. You get beat up more than anyone else out there.
Ground ball down the third base. Stacy Sonny's going to glove it. Long throw. It gets by Tamara Ivy. And Scott Melvin is going to wind up second base with the two-base error.
Well, it's not a hit, but he gets on base, so I guess he can save a little face.
A tough throw for Stacy Sonny, but it's a throw we've seen her make so often in the past, Julie.
Well, actually, it's not that bad of a throw considering she went against her glove hand. Tamara Ivy, who's usually outstanding at picking the ball, doesn't come up with that one.
So Scott Bud Melvin gets a warm round of boos as he trots off the field, and in pinch running for Scott Melvin, Eric Vanderberg will pitch run for the radio personality. He's at second base.
So Eric is the son of Tom Vanderberg, who's the manager, and he apparently played with his father last year. But his father hit better than he did, so he didn't come back out this year.
So the center fielder, Todd Laporte, steps in. Laporte, the shot to right field. Shannon Mitchum is there. She's going to have a play at third. Here comes the throw. And Vanderberg is at third with the tag.
It was a nice job by Pam Davis anticipating the play and backing up third base.
And of course, the warm reception for the Colorado Silver Bullets. We had mentioned they are the home team every place they go, and in this, their 29th city, they get a nice round of applause.
And tonight they are literally the home team for a change. It's a nice job by Shannon Mitchum. She is really a versatile player. I tell you, she can play anywhere out there, and her arm is very strong. Good throw from right field. Stacy gets knocked down. I don't think they would have had him anyway.
The second baseman, Owen Mergen, going to check out the bat situation. We should mention this is the first time that the Kalamazoo Yankees have used the wooden bats, had to borrow a few from the Colorado Silver Bullets.
Actually, they showed up in BP with one, and I said, you might not make it through the game with that one. You might want to ask for a couple more. Now, Owen is hitting .328, and he has 6 doubles on the season. He played at Western Michigan University in 1983 through 1985.
One of the Broncos played baseball. He said he has got quite a number of injuries, including 2 12-inch rods and 6 hooks in his back from when a roof fell on him during a construction project. And we talked with one of the coaches, Jerry Howe, and he says, boy, I respect that guy for his stupidity.
Sounds like he's duct taped together. That's quite a few injuries.
One and one to Owen Mergen.
Now you'll notice Davis's high leg kick, and I asked her, you know, what that was, if she thought she generated any power from that or what, and she said, it's just a timing mechanism.
Mergen trying to drive in. Eric Vanderberg, who is pinch running for Scott Bud Melvin, who got aboard the 2-base error. Davis would love to shut them down. 3-1 to Owen Mergen. Pam Davis coming off a good outing. She wound up the 3-2 winner over the Ohio Indians in Cleveland, Ohio. That game played at Jacobs Field, where from what I understand, a lot of the Silver Bullets got some tips from some Major League Baseball players found back at a play.
Yeah, the Major League Baseball players have really been responsive to the Silver Bullets. I found that the higher you go, the more supportive these men are, the less threatened they are, and the more willing they are to help the players.
The likes of Cal Ripken and Mike Mussina, two of the Orioles that were in the visitors' dugout at Jacobs Field, had shared some tips with the Silver Bullets. Mergen staying in there, count now at 3-2.
Now Davis is a smart pitcher. She really looks for every batter's weakness, and she capitalizes upon it.
Fouled out of play. Owen Mergen certainly taking his swings up there.
You'll notice that Pam's a pretty quick pitcher. She keeps the game going. She says she does this because she likes to keep her defense in the game. She doesn't want them falling asleep behind her because she needs them to keep her ERA down.
Davis, one of two pitchers to have 2 or more wins for the Colorado Silver Bullets. Lefty Missy Coombs has 3. Foul back. Count stays full to Mergen.
Mergen's having quite an at-bat here.
We talked about his resiliency and his tenacity with playing with all those nuts and bolts literally in his back. I guess he's going to show it at the plate as well. 3-2 to Owen Mergen. Foul ball. Tamara Ivey's going to give chase down the first baseline, but that ball is out of play.
Tamara's done an outstanding defensive job for the Bullets this year. Her fielding percentage is .989. Unbelievable.
Healthy crowd on hand here at C.O. Brown Stadium in Battle Creek, Michigan. Not bad considering these folks had to wait around about an hour and a half for some heavy rains to come on through. Battle Creek gets a lot of rain coming off Lake Michigan through Chicago. And then it had let up in the field, dried off very quickly. Shot down the left field line, just foul. Owen Mergen using the entire baseball field as Pam Davis tries to solve this batter.
Owen did a nice job right there using his lower half. You can tell the power that he generated was directly proportionate to the way he used his hips, the way he cocked his hips.
He has a torn cartilage in his right knee, a torn rotator cuff, 2 12-inch rods, and 6 hooks in his back. If we get lightning, he's in trouble.
That was a great at-bat. You have to give him credit right there.
So the first base on balls given up by Pam Davis to the resilient Owen Mergen. And manager Phil Negro knows that Pam Davis has some problems with jitters in the early innings, and she's got runners now at first and third with 1 out here in the top of the first.
Like you say, Tracy, historically she does not do well in her early innings. She has 5 hit batsmen and 3 wild pitches, all of which came in her first or second inning of her appearances.
One of 3 Laporte brothers now steps to the plate. This is Jeff Laporte. He graduated from Portage Central High School here in Southwest Michigan. That is popped up to the infield. Stacy Sonny's calling for it. She'll glove it for out number 2. A big out for Pam Davis.
That is a big out. That's an interesting play right there because it looked like it was in Heisler's territory, and the shortstop has precedent over every other infielder.
Nobody there to cover third base if she should drop it as well. Heisler didn't go over to cover third now. 2 outs, 2 men on, and Tom Vanderberg.
I have to say, though, the communication in the infield is so much better than it was last year. Tony's presence over there is dramatically improved.
I know Pam Davis, a big part of that. She likes when the infielders talk to her, and she said she feeds off that.
Now, Tom Vanderberger also played at Western Michigan University. He was a 2-time academic All-American in 1971 and 1972.
Foul back. The Kalamazoo Yankees tell us they finished about 4th or 5th in their league with a record of 11-10. See, they take the game seriously when they want to, but they certainly kicked it up a notch when they came in here to play the Silver Bullets.
When I spoke with general manager Jerry Howell, he said, you know, this game isn't an ego thing for us. Our egos were made or broke a long time ago. Beautiful job by Pam Davis.
Yeah, there you see Davis using some of her off-speed pitch to go against big Tom Vanderberg.
Excellent job. He was way out in front on that. Her changeup has an appearance of a fastball, which, as you know, Tracy, makes a very effective change.
0-2 now to Vanderberg. And they've got the runner picked off. That's going to get away from Tamara Ivy. The first runner comes across the plate. Owen Mergen goes all the way to third base, and what looked to be an out winds up being a run, with another run threatening at third base for the Kalamazoo Yankees.
That usually is a great play for the Bullets because they don't think that the pitchers are capable of moves like that. Looked like Ivy just was right on top of the ball, and unfortunately, that means that runner goes from first to third.
So Shannon Kimberling goes out to calm down Pam Davis. Runner Owen Mergen is at third base. 2 outs now, 0-2 to Tom Vanderberg as the Yankees look to push across the second run here in the top of the first. High fly to center field. Angie Marzetta runs it down, and the side is retired. But not before the Kalamazoo Yankees can push a run across the plate. We're going to the bottom of the first. The Yankees lead 1-0.
If you're still struggling with a wheelbarrow or a back-straining garden cart, call this number for complete details about the revolutionary DR Power Wagon. Yes, with a DR Power Wagon, you can haul heavy, bulky...
Silver Bullets already in a hole here in Battle Creek, Michigan. They trail the Kalamazoo Yankees 1-0 on 2 errors. Here's a look at the Colorado Silver Bullets lineup. Michelle McInerney will lead it off for the Silver Bullets. She plays second base. Shannon Mitchum bats second in right field. Stacey Sonny at third base bats number 3. In the cleanup spot, Pam Schaffrath will do the DHing tonight. Tamara Ivy at number 5 plays first base. Tony Heisler bats number 6. She's at shortstop. Angie Marzetta plays center field and will bat number 7. Carrie Kropke is in left at number 8. And at number 9, Shannon Kimberling will do the catching.
Well, there's no doubt, Tracy. I'm sorry.
And we'll look at the Kalamazoo Yankee defense from left to right. Niv Reisterer, Scott Melvin, and Joe Jankert, although we don't know if they're going to have a substitution for Scott Melvin in center field or not. Mike Perkowski, Matt Pienta, Owen Mergen, and Tom Vanderberg. Dave Back will do the catching, and Jeff Laporte, with a record of 7.4 and 2.25 ERA, will take the mound for the Kalamazoo Yankees. Leading off for the Colorado Silver Bullets, Michelle McInerney. She has been a spark plug for the Silver Bullets, whether it's through her base on balls. She leads the team with 31, or with her hit. She's had an occasional teasing with a hitting streak here and there, but she is really a spark plug that ignites the Silver Bullets team.
That last pitch appeared to be a makeup call. That first strike called on the outside corner. Last one looked like it was right down the middle.
2-1 to Michelle McInerney.
Now, McInerney's a smart hitter, like I said. She knows the zone, she makes good contact, and she knows how to wait for her pitch. You'll notice that she took the first pitch, which she generally does, which is a good idea because it gives her a chance to read his time and his speed and his delivery.
Michelle McInerney probably has one of the best attitudes on the Silver Bullet team. It doesn't get too high, it doesn't get too low, and some people say, well, she's 31 years old, she's mature, but really it's a rigorous schedule and it's tough to maintain your composure in and out.
I think that she's done a very, very nice job being a leader, not only on the field with the physical skills, but with the emotional development of the younger players.
Says she wants to coach the Silver Bullets someday. Count stays at 3-2 for Michelle McInerney.
Now, if McInerney walks right here, she will tie the record for the most walks for the Silver Bullets in 1994, which, by the way, is her record.
Just going to say that. Shot down the left field line. That's going to drift foul. Kalamazoo's Niv Reisterer gives chase. But Michelle McEnany stays alive. You could see McEnany with a little self-talk. These athletes certainly very good students of the game. They get a lot of good hitting instruction from Bruce Crabb and Johnny Grubb and really put it into practice each time they go out.
Well, and they're very smart women. Almost all of these women are college graduates. Oh.
Strike three to Michelle McEnany, and boy, did she think she had a free ticket to first base. Take another look at the pitch by Jeff Laporte, called strike three.
Now batting for the Silver Bullets.
That's too close to take, I think.
Shannon Mitchell.
Shannon Mitchum steps in. Mitchum batting .209, and if you look at this 1 through 5, 6 lineup, these are the top hitters average-wise for the Colorado Silver Bullets. Phil Niekro wants to stack his best hitters at the top.
Absolutely. And if you look at the entire lineup, you're going to see that this is an offensive lineup as opposed to a defensive lineup. Like every other team in the United States, offense is their primary concern. You can't win if you can't score.
Mitchum falls behind in the count 1-2.
Now Laporte is the workhorse of the Kalamazoo Yankees.
It's tough for you to say Kalamazoo and Yankees. You want to put New York in front of that.
is a tough one, I have to admit. Now he's called the Heartbreak Kid because apparently the Yankees have lost 5 games in the 9th inning, and 3 of them he has given away.
Well, he's won 7 for them according to his statistics. Mitchum now works the count full at 3-2.
Laporte has an ERA of 2.25 in 71 innings pitched.
And it's Shannon Mitchum who now has the free ticket to first base and becomes the Silver Bullet first base runner of this game.
Now we may look for Mitchum to challenge the catcher's arm. She's 2 for 3 with the stolen base attempts.
The leading hitter for the Colorado Silver Bullets, Stacy Sonny.
Sonny is definitely a make-something-happen kind of hitter. In 73 at-bats, she has struck out only 4 times and walked only 6 times.
And she's cut that down considerably from last year. You take a look at some of the Silver Bullet stats from 94 to 95. We mentioned in the open, they already have more wins than they had the entire last season. Stacy Sonny, one of those people who has really stepped up her offensive performance from last year. She also had a 6-game hitting streak during this season.
As I mentioned in the open, she's really struggled with injuries, however. She's had 4 serious injuries this year, still managing to get in that lineup as much as possible.
Said she's missed 7 games through all those injuries, has a what's going to happen next attitude when she gets up there. Sidearm delivery, there's the throw down the first. Mitchum gets back safely. You had mentioned Stacy Sonny has struck out just 4 times this year. In all of 1994, she had 27 strikeouts, so she is 1/7 of what she was last year, and that is on a positive note.
And she's been hit 4 times by pitches. I'm sure she's a little more shaky than her teammates just because of the injuries she's gotten.
This could be the payoff pitch. 3-1 now to Stacy Sonny, the leading hitter for the Colorado Silver Bullets. Shannon Mitchum is on first. Foul back out of play. You watch the Silver Bullets. Initially during the season, they were swinging just at fastballs, were fooled entirely by the curveballs. We see Jeff Laporte throwing a lot of breaking balls. Silver Bullets are on it.
Well, they've had a lot of time to see the pitches and adjust to the pitches.
That ball is popped up to the infield. Shannon Mitchum was going. Matt Pienta gloves it for out number 2, and Mitchum gets back. 2 down now in the bottom of the first, and that'll bring up the DH, Pam Shafrath. Shafrath batting .194, has 8 RBIs this season.
Shaffroth, I was talking to her before the game, and she said she's hitting much better because she's not trying to pull the ball anymore. She's just trying to drive it up the middle. She has a lot of power.
Shaffrath, probably one of the players that may have some Midwest ties. She's a graduate of Drake University.
Well, she definitely has some Midwest ties. Apparently 150 people are going to be at the game in Illinois to see her.
Pam played baseball from 1980 to 84. Played Little League baseball, was an all-star, and also played slow pitch softball in St. Charles, Illinois in the late 80s. One and one now to the Drake University grad Pam Shaffrath.
I think one of the reasons that Pam is hitting the ball better too is that she's keeping her head in and she's not trying to place the ball as much. She's not trying to go the other way as much with the outside pitch. She's just trying to hit it. Sometimes batters, myself included, get too caught up in the mechanics and what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, as opposed to just letting your body do what's natural.
2-1, 2 outs. Silver Bullets with the runner on first. Looking to even the score here in the bottom of the first. Two and two now, 2 outs. Shot down the third base line, but foul. You take a look at the dimensions there of left field, and they resemble Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. Now, this is the Class A ballpark of the West Michigan, or the Michigan Battle Cats, and they are the Class A affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. So the team wanted to duplicate the same field that they play on in Boston, Massachusetts. Ground ball to Matt Piena. He's going for the force at second for out number 3. Silver Bullets put a runner on, but they can't push her across the plate. We're moving to the top of the second. The Yankees lead 1-0.
The game. He makes a wonderful catch in right field. That's well hit to right. Deep and gone. Safe at second base. Now batting. To the right side and a hit. The Cardinals win.
The St. Louis Cardinals all season on Prime Sports.
Wanted great baseball. Reward your Colorado Silver Bullets. The ladies take the diamond with a little attitude and a little something to prove. They got the sticks, they've got the mitts, and they've got the guns. You throw in a little heart, and you got the Colorado Silver Bullets.
The Bullets shoot into Reno Thursday night at 11:30 Central, 10:30 Mountain on Prime Sports.
We move to the top of the second. Kalamazoo Yankees lead the Colorado Silver Bullets 1-0. Well, it seems every place the Colorado Silver Bullets travel, Joe and Phil Niekro draw some media attention. We talked with manager Phil Niekro and asked him why he has such a passion for managing the Silver Bullets.
I mean, I could be so homesick, fishing and playing golf and cooking out every night, but I guess maybe I just want to make sure that this job was going to be done by someone who really had a lot of faith in and pride in it. Wanted to make sure it was going to happen right. I'm sure there's other guys could do that. I'm not saying I'm the only one that could do it, but I just guessed that I wanted to make sure that it was going to work the way it was supposed to work. And after I got involved with it and saw the commitment and the hearts and the guts and the determination that the players have, it's hard to walk away from it, because when you see the gleam in their eyes and the smiles on their faces when they get a hit or strike somebody out, turn a double play to win the ball game, I can't describe that as a manager what it means to me and the coaching staff. And it's the greatest feeling in the world to be able to be in a position to sit every night and watch that.
One of the winningest pitchers in the history of Major League Baseball, manager Phil Niekro. He is well loved by the Colorado Silver Bullets.
He is a tremendous leader. He is so patient and so willing to teach you what you need to know, as opposed to expecting you to do it.
Dave Back fouls back the first offering by Pam Davis. Back comes in, batting .341 for the Kalamazoo Yankees.
And I think we have a Western Michigan University lineup here tonight, Tracy. He played there as well in 1989.
We should mention Western Michigan. It was about maybe a driver or a 3-wood away from here, so it's no wonder we've got a couple of Broncos on this squad. Strike 2 to Dave Back.
Now Dave's nice off-speed pitch. Looked like he really pulled his head out and his hips were wide open right there. Dave is hitting .341 and he has 3 home runs on the season.
Shot back up the middle. That's going to fall in for a single. A leadoff single for Dave Back here in the top of the second. Well, an 0-2 count. Maybe Pam Davis gave him too good a pitch.
Absolutely, I agree with you. 0-2, absolutely nothing good enough to swing at.
Nib Reisterer, the number 6 hitter for the Kalamazoo Yankees.
Now Nib is hitting .282.
Kalamazoo Yankees, part of the Stan Musial League, and that is a league played throughout the country. For men from 18 to, well, we've got a guy for 61 years old. We've seen him as old as 65 in the Stan Musial League. Nib, one of those guys that's been playing since 1973 in Stan Musial baseball.
Now, I understand that Nib is the head basketball coach and baseball coach at Hackett High School here in Kalamazoo.
Dave Back on first with a leadoff single. Three and 0 now to Nib Reisterer. Gonna call that a strike now. 2-1. Check that to Nib Reisterer.
Now Pam is not new to pitching. She played baseball until she was 15 years old, and actually she pitched. Good idea, keeping him close right there, until she was 15. When she was 15, her mom, Aggie, was hit by a drunk driver, and she was her primary caretaker for her mother from 15 till she left for college.
Shot back up the middle, right to Davis. She's going to go to second. Wild throw is going to go into center field. Angie Marzetta is there to glove it, but now the Kalamazoo Yankees have runners at first and third. The third error on the night for the Colorado Silver Bullets.
That was a great job by Pam getting her glove down and making that play. What happens is she doesn't get her composure and step and throw. She's throwing off balance, and when you do that, a lot of times you throw it away.
You know, any pitcher who's successful in minor or major league is going to tell you consistency is key. Now, Pam is coming off the win in Ohio. Before that, though, she had a difficult outing in Columbia, South Carolina. She said she forgot about that difficult outing and thought she was in a positive frame of mind. She's got to show some consistency here. Shot down to Stacy Sonny at third. She's going to go home. Here's the tag. Hunter's out.
Excellent job by Shannon Kimberling.
Score that a 5-2 with a big tag out by Shannon Kimberling.
Great job right now, getting in front of the plate and getting the tag on this guy. I tell you, before this season, I did not know that women could catch and block the ball, block the batters like that, the runners. Outstanding play. Shannon is as tough as nails. When they first formulated this team in the end of 1993, I was positive that they were going to have to get a man or something to catch, because I didn't think that they could throw runners out or that they could have that kind of contact behind the plate. And I played baseball my entire life. These women, Shannon Kimberling, Elizabeth Burnham, Missy Kress, have proved differently.
And those three names you mentioned, all catchers for the Colorado Silver Bullets. Manager Phil Necro going out to the field just to check on Stacey Sunny, make sure she's okay. She took a hard shot down at third base. And knowing Stacey Sunny, she's going to stay in the baseball game through thick and thin.
Until they carry her off.
Joe Jankert now is a one-out hitter. That's a shot to Heisler. She's going to go to McInerney to one, to Ivy. Not there. So the Silver Bullets again on the fielder's choice get Mike Perkowski at second and now have two-way here in the bottom of the second.
It's like Pam left that up a little bit. Shannon bobbles it, but does a nice job recovering it. Great feed to Michelle McInerney, who gets off not so great a throw. Again, Ivy usually very consistent with picking the ball over there. Doesn't come up with it.
They are some hard shots, and despite the rain, there is very little give to this baseball field. It's coming very quickly at these fielders.
Sure, usually on a damp day, Tracy, the air is heavier, so the ball won't move as quickly or won't go as far. It does not seem to be doing that tonight.
The shortstop, Matt Pienta, takes strike one. Pienta comes in batting .320. He leads the team with 4 triples. Got a chance to knock in a couple of runs here with runners at first and third. Pam Davis hangs a pitch, and there's a play, but Carrie Krapke can't get it, and that's going to push a run across the plate. Kalamazoo Yankees now go up 2-0 here in the second inning.
Well, they're certainly not having a problem hitting Pam tonight.
Looks like Davis just hung this pitch.
Great contact. It looks like it hit the ground just before it hit Carrie's glove. It's a tough break.
That is only the second hit for the Kalamazoo Yankees. They now have runners at first and second. And the leadoff hitter, Todd Laporte, gets his first at bat because they had the radio personality, Scott Bud Melvin, lead off the game. He got one at bat, and he is out. Poked back, falls in for a single. Shannon Mitchum's going to glove it. Here's the throw to the plate. There's going to be a play, safe at home.
Shannon did everything she could right there. She does a nice job coming up and immediately looking for the other base runners, because it's one thing to have this guy score. It's another thing to have a runner on third.
So give Todd Laporte the RBI single, the Texas League single, if you will. And the Kalamazoo Yankees are now up 3-0 here in the bottom of the second.
Nice throw right on line, just not in time. Shannon was playing pretty deep there, which is surprising because more hits are going to fall in front of you generally than are going to turn you around, than are going to go over your head.
Owen Mergen drew a base on balls his first time up.
I think they have ejecto mitts on today.
They are having trouble holding on to the baseball.
Very uncommon for the Bullets. They are known for their defense. They are fundamentally sound. Very uncharacteristic.
Shot to Stacey Sunny. She's going to go to second for out number 3. 3 hits, 2 runs. The Kalamazoo Yankees lead here as we move to the bottom of the second, 3-0.
The Silver Bullet women's team are playing against men. How do you feel about that?
I think that they can beat them.
The women?
Yep, I think the women can beat the men.
That is the sentiment among a lot of Silver Bullet followers and the Silver Bullets themselves. They've already won 7 games during a very, very hectic season, which spans 50 different cities, 50 games throughout the entire country, including Hawaii. And many of the women and many of the men are always in favor of the Colorado Silver Bullets.
There's no doubt, Tracy, that the Bullets are America's team, because for a lot of people, they are the ultimate underdog. They're not as experienced as their opponents. They're not supposed to be playing this game, you know, some people feel. So almost everyone wants to see this team do well. They want to see them win.
And some teams, like the Tinker Air Force Base, show they'll go to whatever extent they have to try to win a baseball game.
Absolutely amazing. Now, the Air Force Base apparently has contacted the Public Relations Department and said, look, we are not affiliated with this team. Please ask people to stop calling us. Call the manager. Give him a hard time. He was the one that cheated.
They switched shirts in the middle of the game, tried to put some ringers in there. And what happened was the Air Force Base had to forfeit the game after manager Phil Necro had caught them. Tamara Ivy set to lead off the bottom of the second. She comes in batting 135, but Julie, she's been hitting the ball hard lately.
She really has, I agree. She adds a lot of power to this lineup. See her there contesting the call. She's not very happy about that.
I guess they're just looking for some consistency in this strike zone, and we've seen it maybe move up and down, float side to side. I think the umpire is still trying to figure it out there, but Tamara Ivy, like it or not, is called strike 3.
And here's the pitch. Looks like a strike to me. Unfortunately, as a batter, sometimes your anger for the umpire or your anger about the last call will affect the next pitch. You have to say, he's going to call it, I'm swinging. At least make contact.
That is the second strikeout for Jeff Laporte in this game. Tony Heisler goes after Laporte's first pitch, and she's in the hole 0-1.
Heisler, another bat that's really come on since our last broadcast. While she's only hitting 185, she has a 369 on-base percentage. She's coming off a 5-game hitting streak.
Big swing and strikeout number 2 this inning for Jeff Laporte.
Low and away, you're not going to do a lot with that, even if you make contact. But she did her best. I think she took a page out of Ivy's book and said, he's going to call it, I'm swinging.
Well, this is the inning where you really don't want to lay down your guns and surrender. The Kalamazoo Yankees scored 2 runs at the top of the second on a couple of Silver Bullet errors, a couple miscues. Silver Bullets are not playing good baseball here. They've got to get back into the swing of things, and it all starts at the plate. A big swing by Angie Marzetta. Nice play by Matt Pienta. Long throw. Tom Vanderberg holds on for out number 3. A big play by the Kalamazoo Yankees to get Angie Marzetta. We're moving to the top of the third. Silver Bullets trail 3-0. You're watching Silver Bullets Baseball on the Women's Sports and Entertainment Network. Well, they say your fire department is always there when you need them, and that goes for the Battle Creek Fire Department. That shot you're seeing is provided courtesy of Southwest Michigan's Battle Creek Fire Department, and we want to thank the fire department for letting us use their snorkel to provide our center field platform. So you can catch all the exciting action here at C.O. Brown Stadium as the Silver Bullets take on the Kalamazoo Yankees.
Well, I hope there aren't any big fires in the area.
We lose our center field camera.
That's absolutely true. With the rain, I don't think there's a very good shot.
The pitcher, Jeff Laporte, steps in to face Pam Davis here in the top of the third.
Little chin music.
Now, Julie, you're pitching coach Joe Necro. What do you tell Pam Davis? You had 2 rocky innings. You got to come out here strong and settle down a little bit.
I'd imagine what Joe is probably telling her is like, look, we know your first couple innings are usually rocky. Go in there, calm down, work on your mechanics, throw your game.
How much would the rain delay affect a pitcher who is very excited to pitch like Pam Davis?
Well, I think it's tough because if a pitcher gets up, if they start warming up, they throw 10, 20 pitches. play by Michelle McInerney.
A nice catch by the second baseman, Michelle McInerney. She turned left, she turned right, she looked up and caught the ball for out number 1.
McInerney does a great job proving the theory that you catch pop-ups with your lower half. Her quick feet enabled her to get under that and make that great play. Pure Michelle McInerney style.
One of the most consistent players on the Silver Bullet squad. The man with the nice stretch last inning, Tom Vandenberg, steps up to the plate. He popped out to center field his first time up.
Great job by Shannon Kimberling, who does not have a pass ball on the season. I know that Pam feels very comfortable throwing low to her for that reason.
Pop up. Shannon Kimberling's going to give a chase, but that's fouled back out of play.
Generally, when you're popping up a lot, it means you're swinging a little late. Whereas conversely, if you're grounding out a lot, you're probably swinging a little too early.
The Kalamazoo Yankees range anywhere from 20 years old to 61 years old. Tom Vandenberg, the man you see there, is 44 years old. And Michelle McInerney comes through again, so it's McInerney here in the top of the third.
Tom really reached outside for that outside pitch and tried to pull it. When you do that, generally you can't generate any power. He told me before the game that he's never hit with wood, and in fact he has one aluminum bat that he won't let anyone else in the team use because he's so fond of it. I imagine that may have thrown him off a little bit tonight.
Well, when you've got 4 home runs with an aluminum bat, I guess you have the right to say, don't touch my goods. Dave Back takes strike 1.
Well, that's an interesting change because Pam tells me that usually she works right-handers in and then goes away.
Big swing and a miss by Dave Back. He singled up the middle his first time up and was later thrown out at the plate by Stacy Sonny. Little chin music just to keep him on his toes.
Well, Davis appears a lot more composed out there in this inning than she did in the beginning. Wouldn't you agree?
Seems to settle down as the fielders step up and she kind of gets further along into a baseball game. She has more control of her pitches.
Now, Pam uses her fastball to set up everything. Now, her slider is her money pitch. She says that's why she's on this team.
That's what they pay her the big money for, huh?
You got it.
Pam is a rookie on this Colorado Silver Bullet team, and rookies make $20,000 for the year. Second years make $25,000. Wonder after 3 years what you're going to make.
I'd imagine 30.
Hey, inflation, you got to boost it up a little bit for next year. Full count now to Dave Back. 2 outs. The payoff pitch popped up. And that's going to drip back out of play with a large thud right over our head. Pam Davis played for the University of South Florida, played second base. As the crowd here at C.O. Brown Stadium looks on and cheers heartily for the Colorado Silver Bullets.
She's a bit of a renaissance woman. She also had a 3.95 GPA in pre-med.
Ball is out to shortstop. Tony Heisler going to glove it for out number 3. So 3 up and 3 down. The Yankees lead 3-0.
Welcome to the Prime Pro Shop Sports Hotspot.
Joining us in Battle Creek, Michigan, as the Colorado Silver Bullets are taking on the Kalamazoo Yankees here at C.O. Brown Stadium. Silver Bullets still looking for their first hit and the first run here in the bottom of the third, as Jeff Laporte has managed to solve the Colorado Silver Bullets. Kerry Kropke will lead it off here in the bottom of the third. Kropke batting 111, has 7 hits, 7 RBIs. Kropke, another one of the Silver Bullets who has seemed to come along here in the second half of the season.
Kropke's a powerful hitter. She's an excellent athlete. She has a huge swing, which may be her Achilles heel.
What a diversified portfolio Carrie Kropke has. As you see rain start to fall ever so lightly here in Battle Creek, Michigan. She studied economics, she wants to be an actress, and she also had deferred law school.
Outstanding, outstanding individual, very bright. I would not be surprised if she's a senator one day.
She was one of the Silver Bullets featured in our Open, the more outspoken one in the middle. Ground up back the middle. Quickly, Laporte's going to have to field it. The throw gets away from Tom Vanderberg, and Carrie Kropke is a leadoff base runner here at the bottom of the third.
I'll tell you, those accidental bunts sometimes are much more effective than a hit or an attempted bunt. Looked like Vandenberg should have just come off and made that play. If he comes off, he has a chance of putting his foot back on. Without the ball, she is safe.
Well, they're going to give Carrie Kropke a hit, and that is the first single for the Colorado Silver Bullets. So Shannon Kimberling, who's got 5 RBIs, the steady catcher for manager Phil Necro, looking to do some more damage here.
You see Shannon square around the bunt. This is stereotypical Silver Bullet baseball. They have executed the sacrifice bunt 41 times this season as opposed to 9 from their opponents. They bunt and run, they hit and run. I'm surprised they don't delay steal and double steal more often.
Carrie Kropke's got some speed too. There's the bunt laid down by Kimberling. Laporte will go to first on the fielder's choice. So Kropke moves up to second. She is now in scoring position for the leadoff hitter, Michelle McEnany. You got to give Shannon Kimberling a lot of credit. She's in a platoon situation. She doesn't get a chance to sacrifice much, and she goes up there and gets the job done.
Excellent job. What's important in the sacrifice bunt is that you get the ball down, you get a good ball to hit, and that you move that guy up. You sacrifice yourself. Or woman, I guess I should say.
Michelle McEnany, who struck out her first time up, takes a big cut at Jeff Laporte's first offering for strike 1. McEnany graduated from Cal State Northridge. She was a 2-time All-American. She's in the Northridge Hall of Fame.
She also has her picture in the Cooperstown Hall of Fame, much like her father, Tom.
Left a 7-year teaching job to come out here and play for the Colorado Silver Bullets.
McEnany has 16 hits and 2 doubles. Surprisingly, since she's 5'0", she generates that extra base power. With runners on, she hits .320, and she has an on-base percentage of .441.
You are just stat-o-matic tonight.
I sure am.
McEnany in a hole now, 1 and 2. Carrie Kropke on second, 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Popped up to the infield. Dave Back may have a play, and it goes right into the webbing. Michelle McEnany, steady second baseman going against Jeff Laporte. 5-time MVP for the Kalamazoo Yankees.
Laporte pitched for Jackson Community College, and he was the 3rd-team All-American there.
Kropke in scoring position on second base. She's got some speed. Deflected off the mask of Dave Back, but he looks like he's just going to shrug it out. Looks unfazed by that.
Like I didn't even know what happened. Tell you, McEnany has great bat speed, and quickness of your hands is critical as a hitter.
You look at that shot at Michelle McEnany, you can see the rain starting to pick up here at C.O. Brown Stadium. Puffed up, fouled, out of play. Michelle McInerney showing some tenacity against Jeff Laporte. Silver Bullets have won 3 of their last 4. Pam Davis looking for back-to-back wins. Michelle McInerney looking to push the first run across the plate in this game.
It looks like Laporte has 2 release points.
Now explain what you mean by that. He looks like he's throwing sidearm.
Well, it looks like, yeah, sometimes he delivers over and sometimes he delivers down lower, which throws a batter off because you can't consistently pick up the ball. Anything a pitcher can do to deceive the batter will help him or her be more effective.
Off the end of McInerney's bat, that's going to be a foul ball.
Great job protecting right there. She literally threw her bat out. With the umpire's calls tonight, she wasn't going to get wrong up.
Well, they say Laporte, whom Michelle McInerney is facing, throws about 75 to 80 miles an hour, has a knuckle, a couple of curves, fastball, and a change. Take a look at the skies here in southwest Michigan.
McInerney is only one of 2 players who have been in every single game, her and Kim Bratz, the right fielder.
McInerney now worked a full count, 3-2. Found back by Michelle McInerney. Boy, give the 31-year-old former school teacher credit. Her school kids would be proud. Hang in there, Teach. Keep fighting away. 3-2 now. Michelle McInerney hangs tough. Looking for something she can drive. Inside, ball 4. A great piece of watching, I guess you could say that time, from Michelle McInerney as she draws her 32nd base on balls of the year.
And that, again, she has tied her own record last year for the complete year with 19 games to go with 32 walks.
That is the first base on balls given up by Jeff Laporte. Shannon Mitchum. Actually, the second base on balls. Shannon Mitchum drew the first base on balls in the first inning. Rain starting to pick up. Laporte's got to get a good grip on that baseball. Shot up the middle. Off the glove of Owen Morgan. He's got to play at second. They're going to go to third for out number 2. And that will end the inning for the Colorado Silver Bullets. So what looked very promising ends up with no runs pushed across the plate for the Colorado Silver Bullets. A bad break for the Silver Bullets. We move to the 4th inning. The Silver Bullets trail the Kalamazoo Yankees 3-0.
Okay, you're a girl athlete, and you're coming out to watch the Silver Bullets play. How does it make you feel to see girls play against boys?
Well, it's kind of weird, but I think the girls could win. It's not any different. Girls could be better athletes than boys.
Well, you tell them. It's the future of America right there. And West Michigan, as Kalamazoo Yankees lead the Colorado Silver Bullets 3 here as we move to the top of the 4th. Well, the Silver Bullets, as they've done so many times, have threatened, but they can't push the run across the plate.
Early in the season, Tracy, they were getting the runners on, they were moving the runners over. They just couldn't cinch it. They couldn't get them in. And that looks like what they're doing here tonight. They're still making some base running mistakes.
Silver Bullets have pushed across 100, check that, 88 runs as opposed to the opponents, which have pushed across 136 runs. Then Brewster takes it for ball 1. As you see, the rain continues to fall here at C.O. Brown Stadium. This is the home to the Michigan Battlecats, the Class A affiliate for the Boston Red Sox. Little mask cleaning, needs to get some wiper blades for that mask.
As I mentioned before, Pam throws a fastball, a curve, a slider, and a change. She will admit that her change is not her best pitch, and that she throws it just to let the batters know that it's in her arsenal.
She's got to do a good job of keeping that ball dry, too. There's a big glove by Stacy Sonny. Here's the throw, and she gets reached through for out number 1. So there is redemption for the Stacy Sonny-Tamra Ivy combination.
Stacy Sonny is an anchor over at third base. She is as solid as they come. I've seen her, frankly, make some major league caliber plays. Great play, comes up, and makes a beautiful, clean throw to Ivy. Very well done.
All in a day's work for Stacy Sonny, the freelance producer for Rescue 911. Mike Perkowski is the second batter to face Davis. Another shot to Sonny, another throw to Ivy, who comes off the bag and still gets Mike Perkowski. A good heads-up play by Tamra Ivy, and again, the consistent defense by Stacy Sonny.
Stacy does a nice job angling around this ball so she's not throwing across her body. Good throw. It looks like Ivy might be able to hold it and the bag, but instead chooses to tag the bag, but in time.
Sonny to Ivy, Sonny to Ivy. And Stacy Sonny getting a big, big workout today. The former Nebraska All-American. She then went to UCLA, was an All-American there at catcher, and she had made the all-decade team for college softball. Not to be outdone, Stacy Sonny. You take a look at the consistent third baseman. If there were a Women's Hall of Fame for professional baseball players aside from the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, that woman would be headed to it. There's a shot off the bat of Joe Jankard. That may fall in for extra bases. Quickly, Angie Marzetta is going to get it and throw it to second, but Jankard is in with the double.
Looks like the wet ball may be giving them a little trouble tonight.
Shortstop, number 6, Matt Pienta.
That is just the 4th hit off Pam Davis of this ball game.
Great job, great extension. Nice torque on that ball. Marzetta comes around. Looks like she bobbles a little bit, maybe wet. Still manages to come up with a good throw to her cutoff, and that is her job.
Torque on that ball?
Torque on his swing. Did I say torque on the ball? Had a little too much caffeine before the game.
Hey, you played for the Silver Bullets. I defer to you. Big swing and a miss by Matt Pienta. Pienta had a single to left field his first time up.
It's physics.
By Julie Croteau.
We're in trouble if I'm doing physics.
Matt Pienta now behind in the count, 0-2.
Great location. She hits her spots so well when she's on.
We've seen Davis in this situation before, 0-2 ahead of the batter. Here's where she can't give him anything good.
Now, Pienta is 20 years old, and although this team is billed as an older team, more than a third of their team are in their 20s. Pienta, I understand, is the son of the team sponsor, which is DNA Auto Body.
He also is a Western Michigan Bronco. Take a look at C.O. Brown Stadium. Lots of renovations done in the past 2 years to the stadium to amicably suit baseball. And of course this year with the Michigan Battle Cats coming into play, they added the grandstand in left field. You're looking at it right there at a cost of about $200,000. The total tab to renovate this facility, $600,000. And there is a shot to left field. Carrie Krapke is on her horse. She's back to the fence. And hangs on to the baseball. What a catch by Carrie Krapke. A big out number 3. Baseball at its best. Carrie Krapke, the hero in left field. We're coming back for more of the same. Overcast skies here in Battle Creek, Michigan, but I'll tell you, these fans now have a smile on their face. They have been treated to some fine baseball as the Colorado Silver Bullets taking on the Kalamazoo Yankees. Well, you can check out the Silver Bullets on their next telecast. They take on the Reno Diamonds. That is in Reno, Nevada. Check your local listings for that telecast. Should be on Thursday, August 3rd.
For the Colorado Silver Bullets, third base, number 4.
Solid defense by the Colorado Silver Bullets last inning. 2 good plays by Stacy Sonny, another by Carrie Krapke, and Sonny's here to lead off the bottom of the 4th.
Again, Sonny is leading the team in batting average with a .260. She has 19 hits on the season.
And I don't think the stats do her justice. You see the phenomenal plays she makes at the hot corner. Her resiliency, she's going to lay down the bunt, but that rolls foul.
Now, it's my understanding that everyone on this team can bunt for a base hit except for Kara Kogenauer, whom Phil Negro, do not allow because they think she has so much power that they don't even want to see her try it.
Translation, lack of speed.
I was trying to smooth it over.
0-2 now to Stacy Sonny. Outside, 1-2. Stacy Sonny, in her second year, the 29-year-old will work with a hitting instructor, Ira Green, the son of Sean Green, who plays for the Blue Jays, in the offseason to work on her hitting. Said she's seeing the ball a lot better, not lunging at it like she used to.
Stacy does a great job maintaining her approach to the ball while she's identifying the pitch. Basically, the longer she can wait, the more time she has to identify the pitch. Therefore, she can adjust to it. As long as you have bat speed, which she has, it'll do the job every time.
Sonny has now worked a full count against Jeff Laporte. Goes after a bad pitch. Laporte gloves it and throws it for out number 1. That's the situation there where you work a 3-2 count, you knock off a couple of bad pitches, you hang in there, and then you go out after ball 4.
Well, we see now why she's only walked 6 times this season. She wants to hit. She wants to swing the bat.
Pam Shafrath grounded to a fielder's choice her first time up. They call her Shaffy here for the Colorado Silver Bullets. 24 years old in her second year for the Colorado team. Not somebody you want to mess with. She started at offensive guard in football in the 7th and 8th grade. She was the only girl on the team.
I think that our teammate, Angie Marzetta, played football as well. There may be some kind of pattern here.
Well, if there's a bench clearing brawl, you let Shafrath and Marzetta
Send
lead the
those
way.
2 out first. You got it.
Well, Marzetta's got to get herself out of a hole here. She has fallen behind Jeff Laporte 0-2.
Shafrath is a great athlete. I mean, she literally can do it all. Not only does she DH, but she plays first base, and she plays a good outfield for the Bullets.
Yeah, flexibility is key here. I think Shafrath's someone who can attest to that. Certainly Shannon Mitchum is another. She's played all over the place. Crowd wants some excitement from the bats of the Silver Bullets. That pitch gets away from Dave Back. Count now at 2-2.
Well, it's worth noting that Jeff Laporte has gone 4 innings, which is very uncommon for the Bullets. A lot of times when they come into town, they see a different pitcher every inning, every 2 innings. So they don't really have a time to store up information on a pitcher and know what he's going to throw.
Well, this is the second time around for Pam Shafrath. Let's see what she can do.
Now, 2-2, the Bullets are taught, we were taught, you basically choke up. Right now, you want to play some hard pepper off the pitcher's forehead. Not literally. Don't look at me like that. You want to hit a hard ball right up the middle.
Big swing and a miss by Pam Shafrath. That is strikeout number 4 for Jeff Laporte. That'll take the wind out of your sails. And it's up to Tamara Ivy, a strikeout victim her first time up, to get something going here in the bottom of the 4th.
Ivy is a solid starting first baseman for the Bullets. She started 24 of the games over there, and as I mentioned early, has a fielding percentage of .989.
She's got a great glove. In college, she used to play second base, first base, maybe a little shortstop for Cal State Northridge. And Gary Torgeson's softball team went to the Softball College World Series. Northridge was Division II. They jumped up to Division I, and Tamara Ivy was there all the way. That sounds like a broken bat. Perkowski is going to glove it and throw out Tamara Ivy for out number 3. So it's 3 up and 3 down. The Yankees lead 3-0. You're watching Silver Bullets Baseball on the Women's Sports and Entertainment Network. Now to Owen Morgan. Pam Davis needs to get back to business. There goes the runner. There's a shot about 500 feet in an elevator shaft. Carrie Kropke's coming in. She's going to glove it. And the runner gets back to first. So the hit and run was on, but Owen Morgan couldn't make it pay off. He's out number 1. What a job by Carrie Kropke tonight.
That was a great job by Carrie Kropke. She is not the fastest outfielder in the team, but I would be willing to bet she gets the best jumps and more than compensates for it. That was an outstanding play that she made earlier in the game.
Different combination in the outfield tonight for the Silver Bullets. Usually we see Bratz out in the outfield. We don't always get a chance to see Marzetta, and sometimes it's Shannon Mitchum, but Phil Necro, as you had mentioned, using his best offensive lineup.
Sure, and I'd be surprised if we don't see Bratz at some point during the night, and if we don't, this will be the first game that she has not been in.
Manager Phil Necro said that Bratz, who is one of the team's better hitters, she is batting at a 194 clip with 18 hits, has been swinging at some bad pitches lately. He wanted to give her time to sit and kind of think about things for a little while. This is Jeff Laporte. Now worked himself to a 1-1 count. Brother of Todd Laporte, who remains on first base. He led off the inning with a single.
There are actually 3 Laportes on this team. Brother David Laporte, who plays second base, has not been in yet. It's interesting that the Yankees did not choose to utilize the DH and that Jeff is hitting for himself, although he has quite an impressive batting average at .431 with 1 home run.
They say Jeff appeared in all 21 Yankee games, either as a pitcher or third baseman, so he's got some versatility in the field as well as on the plate. There goes the runner. Here's the throw by Shannon Kimberly. Close play, but Todd Laporte is safe at second base. Stolen base, number 9 for Todd Laporte.
And you can hear the crowd booing. They apparently did not think he was safe. Nice throw by Kimberling. I don't know. I guess it's nothing till he calls it.
Well, Laporte, to be fair to the umpire, looked like he did get a foot in there. Michelle McEnany gave a great tag there, but Laporte winds up with the stolen base. So now the Yankees have runners in scoring position, and a balk is called on Pam Davis, and that's going to send Todd Laporte to third base.
And it's a credit to Joe Necro that is only the second balk all season, the first being by Leanne Ketchum. He's done a great job taking women who haven't necessarily pitched all the way through the ranks and teaching them mechanics, teaching them what to do, when to do it.
Davis trying to turn to her teammates to find out exactly what she did wrong. Certainly not sure. Shannon Kimberling just wanting to calm her down. She's now got a runner at third with 1 out, and has got to face the number 3 hitter, Jeff Laporte, pitcher for the other team. That ball is fouled down the right field line. So the rain continues to pour down here in southwest Michigan. We are about 2 hours drive from Chicago, about a 2.5-hour drive from Detroit, and about 45-minute drive from South Bend, Indiana, home of Notre Dame University.
have to keep in mind that it's tough for Davis.
She hangs a breaking ball. That ball is popped up. A couple players calling for it. Michelle McEnany tries an over-the-shoulder catch. Can't come up with it. And that's going to bring Todd Laporte home for the 4th run of this ball game. It was going to be a tough play for McEnany, and you wonder why either Angie Marzetta or Shannon Mitchum didn't call her off.
You also wonder why she turned her back to the play. It looked like if she couldn't get a good angle and face the ball, that she didn't let one of the other infielders, possibly the first baseman, call her off of that. There may have been some communication problems right there.
They're going to give McEnany the error, so that is the 4th silver bullet error in this baseball game. 4 runs on 4 silver bullet errors.
And that would be McEnany's 8th error, keeping her in the lead for the Silver Bullets.
Tom Vanderberg, the cleanup hitter, hitless thus far.
Now Tom is a dead pull hitter. I spoke with him before the game, and he said he hasn't gone the other way in about a decade. So if Davis is smart, of course she'll throw him away, but how will she know this? You know, one thing I was saying earlier, it's tough for Davis because the only experience she has facing this batter is his first at-bat, you know, his other at-bats. She has to really analyze the batters as the game goes on, unlike other pitchers who face the same batters over and over again, learn their tendencies, learn their weaknesses.
Jeff Laporte is on first base. He got aboard on the Michelle McEnany error. Tom Vanderberg now works the count to 2-1. Well, manager Phil Niekro said, you know, sometimes we just kill ourselves. Errors, we're not in the game mentally, we're not in the game physically, and we can't let that happen. And certainly the Silver Bullets coming in on a high, having won 3 of the last 4, hoping to get an unprecedented 8th win.
In my experience, I've seen Davis, she usually starts lefties away and comes in with her out pitch, which is her slider in.
3-1. That is ball 4 to Tom Vanderberg. So now the Yankees have runners on first and second.
So to see Joe Niekro coming out to talk to Pam. She certainly hasn't had problems going the distance in the past. She has 1 complete game.
That was just the second base on balls given up by Pam Davis. We've got some action in the bullpen. That is Gina Satriano warming up for the Colorado Silver Bullets. You see Allison Habits protecting her back there.
Catcher, number 10.
Satriano, a former deputy district attorney in the county of Los Angeles, is on sabbatical to play the season, her second season with the Colorado Silver Bullets.
Looks like Davis is missing high.
Dave Back steps in. He is 1 for 2 on the night. It's interesting you mentioned that. When we saw Davis in Columbia, South Carolina, although she said she felt sharp, she was hanging a lot of pitches high there as well, and she ran into a lot of trouble.
Well, as a pitcher, you get hurt high. You don't get hurt as bad low as you do high.
Davis was the 11-1 loser against the Columbia Bombers in South Carolina, and that game was just July 12th, so a couple of weeks ago. And manager Phil Niekro contesting some of the balls and strikes by the home plate umpire. Certainly doesn't feel Pam Davis is getting any breaks today, and Phil's not one to hold his tongue. Runners on first and second, 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Count is 2-0 to Dave Beck, the catcher. Shot down the left field line. That may go over the grandstand. That ball is foul.
Well, there's a sweet spot on the ball and a sweet spot on a bat, and I think he just hit both of them. That was a shot.
Obviously something Pam Davis doesn't want to duplicate.
Well, Dave has 3 home runs on the year, and he's batting .341, so he's certainly the guy you want up in this situation.
Davis needs a ground ball here. She'd love to have a double play. The tandem of Tony Heisler and Michelle McInerney is good as anybody as middle infielders are turning that double play.
Well, they've turned 19 this year, as opposed to only 16 in their entire season last year.
Shot to Sonny. She gloves it. Overthrows second base. That's going to get away from Michelle McInerney. Shannon Mitchum is there to back it up, and she gets the throw in, but runners move up 1 base on the overthrow. Starts good and it finishes bad.
It's a nice job by Sonny. That's a pure reflex play right there. She does a nice job, and here we see where the weight advantage really makes a difference. He just bowls over Michelle McInerney.
The 5th Silver Bullets error. That one is going to go against Stacy Sonny. And runners are now at second and third for the Kalamazoo Yankees with Nib Reisterer at the plate.
You mentioned there's 5 errors. Sonny having 2, which is very uncommon for her. She's very consistent.
Little pop up to Tony Heisler. She's going to glove it. A lot of action, but only 1 run pushed across the plate. Kalamazoo Yankees lead the Silver Bullets 4-0.
Baseball player, what do you think about the Colorado Silver Bullets?
I think it's good that girls are starting to play baseball, because you think of professional sports, I mean, you just think it's a guy thing, but I think it's good that girls are starting to get into it.
Colorado Silver Bullets happy that he's happy about those sentiments, but right now they're not happy about the way this game is turning out. They've allowed 5 errors, unprecedented 5 errors for the Colorado Silver Bullets. Kalamazoo Yankees have pushed across 4 runs on those 5 errors, just 5 hits. Tom Vrobel now in at first base for the Kalamazoo Yankees. He replaces Tom Vanderberg. So Vrobel steps in to play first base.
Well, a young fan had a really good point. There are no professional team opportunities for women besides the Bullets. In general, a woman athlete who excels in college has to go abroad to play, or she just ceases to play. So at 14, I think he's got a pretty good insight there.
Jeff Laporte is going to stay in the ball game for the Kalamazoo Yankees. He may very well go the distance, according to Jerry Howe. We talked to him before the game began, and he said if he gets in, meaning Jerry Howe, you know the game is over. Dave Laporte now moves in at second base.
So now we have the entire Laporte contingency.
For the Colorado Silver Bullets, shortstop number 17, Tony Heisler.
So you got a Laporte on the mound, a Laporte in center field, and a Laporte at second base. If somebody says, I got it, Laporte, you got it. Who goes for it?
We have Heisler, who's batting .185 for the Bullets. I think she's a player who doesn't quite realize how good she is yet. She is really developing. Every year stronger, every year better.
Been a mainstay at shortstop for manager Phil Necro. She is a hardy athlete. Needs to get her bat going a little bit more. She's got 12 hits coming into this game. Let's see her. Gone to Cal State Sacramento, another California girl. I'm willing to bet that over 50% of this team lives or has at one time resided in the state of California. One to Heisler, inside, ball 2. Heisler spent some time playing professionally in Italy. She had led the Italian Softball Federation in home runs, RBIs. There's the shot to third. Mike Kurkowski gloves it and throws out Heisler for out number 1.
Looked like Tony was a little over anxious there, and you'll see a lot of times when a batter is that far out in front, they can't stay back on the ball. What they end up doing is a weak ground ball, and they're easily out.
Angie Marzetta looking for her first hit, and what would be the Colorado Silver Bullets' second hit of this ball game. Hitting is contagious. Once somebody starts Somebody else gets it going for the Silver Bullets, but it hasn't caught on. Marzetta, another nice cut at the baseball, but Dave Laporte is there and throws out Marzetta by a step.
And Marzetta is someone I love to hit. She's the only switch hitter on the team and the only left-hander. She is a pure singles hitter.
Talk about single. Here's the woman with the only hit in the baseball game. Carrie Kropke made the outstanding catch in left field, has the only single for the Colorado Silver Bullets in this game.
Well, her offense has really come alive. Her bat has showed up. She's hit now safely in 4 of her last 5 appearances.
Well, she said, coming in, I got a 2-game hitting streak going. You go, girl. I'm on a roll. And she was pretty proud of it. So.
Well, she had a tough beginning, as you know, Tracy. She was 0 for 32 until she went 3 for 3 one night and broke out of it. She did a little work on her mechanics. She brought her bat back further, and it's really paid off for her.
So her hands were moving too slow, and her timing was down, so she made some mechanical adjustments, as you had mentioned, Julie. She is now in the hole 0-2 against Jeff Laporte. 2 outs. Carrie Kropke's got to be a smart hitter here. Big swing and a miss.
I would say unequivocally that her worst problem is selection.
That is the 5th strikeout victim for Jeff Laporte. 3 up and 3 down. The Silver Bullets are moving very sluggishly to the top of the 6th. They trail 4-0. Colorado Silver Bullets on the trailing end in this baseball game. They trail as we move to the top of the 6th, 4-0. Silver Bullets averaging about 4,000 fans per game. Manager Phil Niekro not happy about what's transpiring here and trying to share some thoughts with brother Joe Niekro.
The Niekro brothers have done a tremendous job with this team. They've taken some women who are incredible softball athletes, some women who have a history in baseball, and really transformed them into a professional baseball team. Joe Niekro has done a great job with the pitchers. I think they've come the furthest from day one of any part of the Phil really looks frustrated. They've come the furthest of any part of the Silver Bullet team.
It's a 2-pack peanut night, I think, for Joe Niekro. Joe and Phil form the winningest brother combination in Major League Baseball history. Joe Niekro won 221 games and 22 Major League seasons. And Phil, he had 318 wins and is just on the threshold of making it into the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
We just saw Pam digging the dirt out of her cleats, and you got to wonder what kind of effect the conditions have had on the team here tonight. Tell you, when it's sloppy, you definitely want to be on offense. You don't want to be on defense.
Mike Perkowski, Joe Jankert, and Matt Pienta scheduled to face Pam Davis here in the top of the 6th inning.
Mike Perkowski is 400. He's batting 450 at-bats with 3 home runs.
Shot a little off the edge of the bat. Stacy Sonny tries to recover. There's nothing doing there, and Sonny should have just held on to the baseball. Mike Perkowski takes a spill. He's going to stay at first base. Stacy Sonny, you could just see the water coming off that ball, why she threw it.
That is a tremendously difficult play. The only shot you have of making that play is if Sonny can cut across and throw that ball off balance. Under these conditions, I agree with you, Tracy. She probably should have held on to it because she didn't really have a chance at him. Fortunately, because of the conditions, he fell and is not on second base.
Chad Jancheski is going to pitch run now for Mike Perkowski. And Joe Jankert steps in to face Pam Davis. Jankert had a double to right center his last time up. Nice scoop up by Shannon Kimberlin.
She has improved dramatically behind the plate.
We talked about the catchers. Manager Phil Niekro using the platoon situation now between Shannon Kimberling, Elizabeth Burnham, and Missy Kress. saying whoever hits is going to win that spot. And he said nobody's come to the forefront now, so the catchers will work on a 3-day rotation.
Well, they're all outstanding defensive catchers. They all bring to the plate something different as far as an accurate arm, a strong arm, good blocking the ball, but none of them are hitting.
Another nice scoop by Shannon Kimberling. Pam Davis in the dirt twice to Joe Jankard. She falls behind in the count, 2-0. Chad Janszewski at first base, pitch running from Mike Perkowski, who singled to lead off the inning. Ball grounded Michelle McEnany. She goes to second for one. Here's the throw, not in time. So Joe Jankard shows a little bit of speed as he motors down the line.
Maybe a little too good for 2-0. McEnany, nice job charging the ball, cutting off as much time as possible. Good feed right to Tony Heisler's glove shoulder. Ideal feed, actually. It looked like a good call. He was in there.
I think fans in Michigan can relate to the double play combination of Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell. And I'll tell you, Tony Heisler and Michelle McEnany look almost as smooth as that veteran team for the Detroit Tigers.
Well, that team, Heisler, McEnany, and Ivy, have put up 10 double plays between them.
Lowell Chastain now pinch running for Joe Jankard at first base. The 20-year-older, 5'9", 150 pounds.
When I spoke with the manager early, he said Lowell is very fast. He has a God-given gift of speed, but he's not a smart runner. You kind of get him going and tell him when to go and when to stop.
Pam Davis got to work a little harder, and there he goes. Here's the throw. Kimberling's got to hold up.
Now you see the Silver Bullet pitchers working, keeping that batter as close as possible. They don't really do that to get the batter off as much because they only have 2 pickoffs, as much to keep them close because they have to give their catcher every advantage, every split second that they can.
There you see the numbers on Matt Pienta. Count is 0-1 as Chastain Lowell gets his first stolen base of the game. Hits the corner now, 0-2 to Matt Pienta.
I think it speaks to the respect that the Yankees have for the Bullets, that they are still stealing at 4-0. That says, we think you can come back, we think you can score this and beat us.
4 runs on 6 hits, no errors for the Kalamazoo Yankees, no runs on 1 hit, and 5 errors for the Colorado Silver Bullets. Pienta pops it foul. Count stays at 0-2. Silver Bullets have played in some pretty nice stadiums in their past couple of games, Julie, in Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and also Kansas City.
One of the perks of being a Bullet is that you get to go and play in these great stadiums.
Pittsburgh, they played in 3 Rivers Stadium, in Cleveland, Jacobs Field, and in Kansas City, Kauffman Stadium, and those are all home to professional baseball teams. And there goes Lowell again. Kimberling's throw is late. Chastain Lowell has his second stolen base of the baseball game.
When someone steals third, they really are stealing off the pitcher, not the catcher. In general, they leave as she begins her delivery. That's more of the runner reading her timing, her pattern when she goes home, and taking a chance, going on first move.
Strike 3 was called, so Matt Pienta is out number 2, and that's going to bring up the leadoff hitter and Todd Laporte. Shot to Tony Heisler. That is the 3rd out. She's going to make the throw anyway. The side is retired, but the Kalamazoo Yankees holding on to their 4-0 lead. You're watching Silver Bullets Baseball on your regional sports network. You're looking at C.L. Brown Stadium in Battle Creek, Michigan. The Colorado Silver Bullets taking on the Kalamazoo Yankees. Kalamazoo Yankees have taken the lead early and often. and they scored 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, and another run later on, and that is our center field camera, courtesy of the Battle Creek Fire Department. They brought in one of their trucks and decided to give us a little platform view, and we thank them very much. Kalamazoo Yankees pushed across their 4th run in the 5th inning. Silver Bullets still trying to get some offense in gear. Shannon Kimberly has yet to have an official at bat. She's sacrificed in the 3rd inning. And still Jeff Laporte stays in the baseball game for the Kalamazoo Yankees. He is a workhorse, as you had mentioned, Julie, and he's hanging right in there.
I think Kimberling arguably could be one of the strongest Silver Bullets. She is absolutely adamant about working out. As you know, 3 times a week she lifts weights. Every other day she works aerobically for at least an hour.
There's a ground ball, trying to cut it off. Matt Pienza's going to have to come up quick with the throw. A nice scoop by Tom Vrobel, and they get Kimberling for out number 1.
It's like she led with her lower half, really giving away a lot of her power. Shortstop does a nice job making up for the 3rd baseman. Beautiful scoop, kind of dramatic scoop there.
Lily Montanez.
Yeah, you got it.
Michelle McEnany. She walked her last time out. She struck out her first time up. Michelle McEnany needs to get something going here. The Mac attack usually is on fire when good things happen to the Silver Bullets.
McEnany has an on-base percentage of .444, so there's a good chance that she'll get on and get something happening.
Julie, let's talk a little bit about one of the Silver Bullets' last wins against the Tinker Air Force Base. It had made national headlines, and manager Phil Negro is very, very disappointed in what this group of fellas tried to push across to the Silver Bullets.
You're absolutely right. What they did is they had players play ringers who wore other players' uniforms, did not even report, and that's why they lost by forfeit. Like I said earlier in the game, the catcher started off as a small guy, and by the 8th inning, Shay Sloan said, hey, that's not the same guy. Phil pointed out the cheating and said they were playing under protest.
Matt Pienza can't get the ball, and that's going to be a hit for Michelle McEnany. Just the 2nd Silver Bullet hit of the baseball game. So if good things happen, Michelle McEnany, alias the Mac Attack, makes them happen.
Like a nice attempt by the shortstop. This went off the end of his glove.
Now here's where 2, 3, and 4 need to pay off. Shannon Mitchum going to a fielder's choice her last time up. Mitchum comes in with a .209 batting average. That is 2nd on the team. Shannon Mitchum just needs to wait for something she can drive.
Now Shannon has extraordinary bat control. What she does is she forsakes a little bit of power to hit for a higher average. And that's worked for her. She has the 2nd highest average on the team.
Just 4 RBIs, but she usually makes some pretty good contact. Dave Back, the catcher for the Kalamazoo Yankees, has yet to be really tested. Michelle McEnany, the runner on first, is 5 for 8 in stolen bases. We'll see if she tests the arm of Dave Back tonight. 1-1, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Ground ball to the 2nd baseman, Dave Laporte. Too late to get McEnany, so he'll go to first and get Shannon Mitchum. McEnany in scoring position for the Colorado Silver Bullets, and now it's up to Stacy Sonny. Leads the Silver Bullets in hits, leads the Silver Bullets in RBIs, but she has yet to swing the bat well tonight.
Well, Stacy hits .400 with 2 outs.
ground ball. You can tell she's just reaching for that. And sometimes the mind is made up before the body is. It looks like Stacey Sonny had committed herself already to swinging at that first pitch.
I'm sure she'd take that one back if she could.
She can't. The count now is 0-1. Jeff Laporte trying to maintain his shutout here. Outside, ball one.
You see Laporte missed 1 inch outside. She swung for that. He figured, well, I'll throw the next one 2 inches outside, see if she'll go fishing.
Breaking ball, ball 2. Ball ground foul. Count moves to 2-2 to Stacey Sonny. Deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Michelle McEnany on second base. Stacey Sonny looking to push the first silver bullet run across the plate. Trying to save Jeff Laporte. She fouls that back to stay in there. 61-year-old Carl Angelo warming up for the Kalamazoo Yankees. Sonny goes after a bad pitch, but she stays in there. Count stays at 2-2.
Now, Carl Angelo, apparently, although he's 61, they have titled him an amateur Negro. He's a knuckleball pitcher, and I'm sure Negro would agree that you can throw a knuckleball right on up there, right until possibly the 70s.
Crowd looking for some action. Take a look at Carl Angelo. Boy, he's really got the stuff, doesn't he?
I'll tell you, apparently he's an icon in this area, and the manager said he's going to get a ceremonial inning and that he is not going to be an embarrassment.
Silver Bullets will have something to say about that. Stacey Sonny has something to say about this. Count 2-2. 2 outs. Michelle McEnany on second base, looking for the first RBI of this game. There's the pitch. Shot right back to Jeff Laporte. He gloves it and throws out Stacey Sonny for out number 3. So the Silver Bullets pick up just their second hit, but they can't get a run. They trail the Kalamazoo Yankees 4-0.
Now, did you play against any girls?
No, they're not in our league, and I think they should be, though. They don't get the exposure that we get to play baseball, so I think they just haven't had the chance to play. If they had the chance to play, then I'm sure they'd be in our league, because there's plenty I know that can play. So.
Well, Julie Croteau, you were someone who played in a boys' baseball league. What's it like to play with a bunch of guys?
Well, I'll tell you, I would have liked it if they all had his attitude. It's pretty much the same as playing with a bunch of girls. These women are so professional and play the game so well that sometimes, I remember last year, I'd have to remind myself that this was not my college team. You know, this was a team of women. It was amazing to me to look around and see 8 other competent baseball players.
Well, it's Laporte, and Vrobel here to face Pam Davis in the top of the 7th. Dave Laporte will lead it off. He has moved into the second base position. This will be his first at-bat.
Second baseman, number 5, David Laporte.
David is apparently the youngest of the Laportes at 30 years old. He's hitting .262.
Inside, goes after Tony Heisler, who's going to glove it. Long throw, brings Tamara Ivy off the bag, and she can't get the tag down, so Dave Laporte is going to be safe with an infield single.
Ivy did a nice job there trying to get the tag on him. It was just a little too late.
It might be indicative of these players not being able to get a firm grip on the ball. Their throws have been erratic at first, and Tamara Ivy is really getting her money's worth out there today.
Well, what happened last year, and I imagine is happening again this year, the travel starts to wear on you. The arms aren't as strong as they were at the beginning of the season, and you're going to start to see a lot more errant throws over there, and Ivy is going to have to do her job and pick them up.
The pitcher, Jeff Laporte, steps in. He is looking for his first hit in this baseball game. Shot back up to middle. Heisler goes to McEnany for one low throw. She's got to turn it and throws it to Ivy for the double play. A nice recovery and turn by the second baseman, Michelle McEnany.
This will be the 20th double play turned by the Bullets this year. Excellent job. Poor feed right there, but McEnany does a nice job recovering. Ivy is on the bag just as long as she needs to be.
That is the double play on the Laporte brothers, and that's going to bring up Tom Vrobel. Vrobel's moved into the first base position. This is his first at bat against Pam Davis.
Now batting first baseman, number 8, Tom Vrobel.
Counts 0-1.
Now Vrobel has the most consecutive games played with the Yankees. He hasn't missed a game in 8 years. Vrobel's hitting .232 with 4 stolen bases.
Kind of has that Cal Ripken streak going, doesn't he?
It's got a little ways to go, but
4 years about. Swing and foul back. Count moves to 2-2.
I think the scouting report on Davis is very accurate. Not so strong in the early innings, really gets her composure together and comes back strong.
Speaking of Cal Ripken, we should mention the last 2 fields that the Silver Bullets have been at, both Kauffman Field at Kansas City Royals and at Jacobs Field in the Cleveland Indians. They've had a chance to meet with some of the Major League Baseball players. Cal Ripken was one of the players that took some time to talk to the Silver Bullets and talk baseball. Grounded down the first base line. Count stays at 2-2. Mike Mussina was another Oriole. So Chili Davis was there. Rod Carew from the Angels, the hitting instructor, and he had a chance to talk with Tamara Ivy, the first baseman for the Colorado Silver Bullets. So most of these professional baseball players, if not all, were very, very complimentary and supportive of the women's professional baseball team.
Well, exactly. These men know better than anyone what the Bullets are going through. And they appreciate the job. They know the job isn't all glamour. They know it's hotels and malls and midnight pizza.
And ho-hos, as you had pointed out in one telecast.
And ho-hos occasionally.
Count now full to Tom Vrobel. 2 outs. Pam Davis would love to get out of this inning. Outside. That is just the 3rd base on balls given up by Pam Davis. The 2nd for that number 4 batter, Tom Vanderberg, drew a base on balls. And now Tom Vrobel. So Vrobel is a 2-out base runner, and that's going to bring up the catcher, Dave Back.
Davis does a nice job using her lower half late in the innings. She really generates a lot of power, a lot of arm speed by using her lower half correctly. What she does is she pushes off her back leg towards home plate.
All of these pitchers converted position players, the majority from softball. We had talked about Davis being a second baseman. Some of the other players, Leanne Ketchum was a converted shortstop. She is a starting pitcher. Shea Sloan was an infielder, another pitcher for the Colorado Silver Bullets. We should mention Leanne Ketchum, the ace for the Colorado Silver Bullets, has run into some injuries.
Exactly. She's been flown back to Alabama. She has been having problems with her rotator cuff and her throwing arm. Apparently she had an appointment this morning at 9 o'clock. We wish her the best. Hope it was good news.
She is visiting with Dr. James Andrews, and if that name sounds familiar, he has worked on the likes of Charles Barkley, Bo Jackson, and all major leaguers in professional baseball, basketball, football, and even hockey. And now he's working on one of the Silver Bullets, so we wish Leanne a lot of luck. Count now 3-1 to Dave Back. Pam Davis making life difficult for herself as she gets behind in the count. And that is ball 4. So back-to-back base on balls for the usually steady Pam Davis. That is just 17 base on balls all season, and that's going to bring out manager Phil Negro.
While we're on the topic of the starting pitchers, Shea Sloan and Beanie Ketchum both played high school baseball.
Relief pitcher coming in, and that is Gina Satriano. We're going to take a break in the action. We're coming back with more.
Wanted great baseball. Reward your Colorado Silver Bullets. The ladies take the diamond with a little attitude and a little something to prove. They got the sticks, they've got the mitts, and they've got the guns. You throw in a little heart, and you got the Colorado Silver Bullets.
The Bullets shoot into Reno, Thursday night at 11:30 Central, 10:30 Mountain on Prime Sports.
The relief pitcher for the Colorado Silver Bullets is Gina Satriano. Comes in with a record of 0-2, a 6.23 ERA. Her last outing was in Atlanta, Georgia on July 10th, where in 0 innings pitched she allowed 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, and 2 base on balls. Gina has since been looking to vindicate herself, and perhaps this will be the opportunity she's been looking for.
Well, Gina has only pitched 8.2 innings in over 220 innings for the Bullets, so I know she's waiting for that opportunity to come out and really show Joe Negro what she can do.
This is her 9th appearance for the Colorado Silver Bullets. Not somebody you want to mess with. Assistant Deputy District Attorney for the County of Los Angeles. The 2 runners on base are Tom Vrobel and Dave Back. They are both the responsibility of starting pitcher Pam Davis, who leaves the game allowing 4 runs on 7 hits and 4 base on balls. 5 Silver Bullet errors contributed to those 4 Kalamazoo Yankee runs. 2 of the runs were earned, 2 of them were unearned.
You see Gina digging away at her cleats. That mud looks like it might be giving the pitchers a little bit of a trouble out there tonight. Gina, while she admits not having an overwhelming fastball, has quite an impressive curveball.
Nib Reisterer will be the first batter to face Gina Satriano. He is looking for his first hit of this ball game. It is up to Satriano to get the Silver Bullets out of the 7th inning. Started in a good way. Dave Laporte led off with a single, but quickly Pam Davis got brother Jeff to ground into the double play. And 2 base on balls, both to Tom Vogel and Dave Back, has put Gina Satriano in this position. 2 outs, 0-1 to Nib Reisterer. Shannon Kimberly doing a tremendous job defensively back down there. She's been on her knees several times. Chest protector is taking a beating.
What Gina needs to do here is she needs to have a closer mentality. She needs to throw strikes and not get nervous because there are men on base.
There is a high fly to the infield. Michelle McEnany is calling for it. She waves off her teammates and gloves it for out number 3. The side is retired, no runs pushed across. We're moving to the bottom of the 7th. The Silver Bullets trail 4-0. Take a look at the numbers. The Kalamazoo Yankees pushed runs across in the 1st, 2nd, and 5th. 4 runs on 7 hits and 5 Silver Bullet errors. And here is how it happened. Your scoring summary. The Kalamazoo Yankees got right to work on Pam Davis and kept the pressure on. New pitcher for the Kalamazoo Yankees. This is 61-year-old Carl Angelo. He has been a pitcher for 4 decades. It's actually in the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame. He holds the record for amateur wins for a pitcher. Kind of has that Babe Ruth look to him, doesn't he?
Babe Ruth as a pitcher. None of the Silver Bullet players are not fond of pitchers like this, while Carl Angelo may be a very good pitcher. He looks like he's not, and they don't like it when people associate the Bullets with, a joke or, a show. They want to be considered a professional team, you know, that competes against good baseball players.
Angelo is well known around the West Michigan parts, specifically the Battle Creek area. He has probably the best seat of the house after game time. He owns a bar right across the street, conveniently named Carl Angelo's. So you can't go wrong when you got a bar named after yourself. So Angelo will go up against 4, 5, and 6 for the Colorado Silver Bullets here in the bottom of the 7th. Tracy Warren along with Julie Croto. We are hanging in here with the Colorado Silver Bullets, who have managed just 2 hits against starting pitcher Jeff Laporte. And Pam Shafrath will see if she can do some damage against the new pitcher, Carl Angelo.
I think the challenge for the Bullets against Angelo is going to be to not get too anxious, to not have that pitch look too fat, get their weight out in front and ground out. They're going to really need to stay back, wait till the last minute, and still generate quickness with their hands.
Now they say Laporte threw about 75 to 80 miles per hour. Clocking Carl Angelo, about 65.
I think you're being generous.
And that literally falls in for a strike. 1-1 now to Pam Shafrath. There's a shot to left field. Mid Reister is going to track it down, sticks up his glove, and takes it for out number 1. You want to check that. That is Chad Janszewski, who is now playing left field for the Kalamazoo Yankees. So Janszewski gloves out number 1.
That was a well-hit ball by Pam Shafrath. She adds a lot of power and extra base potential to the Silver Bullet lineup.
Tamara Ivy trying to get a good at bat here. She is 0 for 2 on the night.
You know, Ivy has been struggling. She has 27 strikeouts this year.
Ivy is a true competitor. She says it wouldn't be so fun if it weren't hard. She kind of gave up on softball. She had a lot of success, was an All-American at Cal State Northridge, but she loves her baseball. There's a shot to center field, and quickly Todd Laporte gloves it for out number 2. So some good defense now by the Kalamazoo Yankees.
Nice job by Ivy. Solid contact. Unfortunately, right to the center fielder, who makes a great sliding catch.
2 outs now, and that's going to bring up Tony Heisler.
It's worth mentioning that when we see on the screen, we see Carl Angelo, this older pitcher, this guy who's not really in shape. You look around him, and you're going to see a lot of young, good baseball players. This is very common for the Bullets, that they have ringers or they have younger, better players in the tougher positions, such as catcher, center field.
Heisler swings and now is behind in the count, 1-2.
See her kicking a little dirt right there because she knows that she was anxious. She knows that she had her weight out on her front foot just a little bit.
Heisler had a 3-game hitting streak going in the early part of July. And she said she had been seeing the ball better, but admittedly was questioning her pitch selection at times. She said when she saw it good, and when she didn't, kind of bad. And there's a foul down the first base line. Count stays at 1-2. Phil Necro is one of these managers who tells the girls, now don't pace yourself for 9 innings, give it all out, and if you need to be taken out after 4 or 5 because you've given us all you can, well, we'll take you out, but go out and go out hard. And Tony Heisler is really indicative of that. She has been a mainstay at shortstop for the Colorado Silver Bullets.
I don't think there is a single Silver Bullet player that will say, I'm tired, take me out. You will not see that happening.
Heisler has started all but 1 game for the Colorado Silver Bullets. We were in Atlanta and she had some fatigue out there, and Julie, as you had mentioned, it takes a lot to get these girls out of a game. It's not their decision. A big swing and a miss, and Carl Angelo gets his first strikeout victim. A new pitcher, but the Silver Bullets can't crack him. Joe and Phil Necro are getting a big headache. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in tonight's Colorado Silver Bullets telecast. Get out of the inning. Todd Laporte, the leadoff hitter, steps up to the plate. He is 2 for 4 on the night, and there you see his numbers with an RBI and a run scored. Strike one.
Gina has a fastball, a curve, a slider, and a change. Her most effective pitches are her curve and her change.
Doesn't have the big leg kick. A Pam Davis ball right back to Satriano. Throw is high. Eisler can't get it. She's going to fire to Ivy. Can't get it there. Runners are safe all around. What looked like could develop into a double play ball ends up with runners safe at all positions, and now the bases are loaded here in the top of the 8th.
Tough break right here. I know Satriano's looking for the double play. Can't quite get either of them.
They're going to give Satriano the error, so that is the 6th Silver Bullet error in this baseball game. Let's see if Satriano and company can get out of this mess. Chad Jancheski is on third. He led off with a single. Joe checked that. Lowell Chastain is on second. He was hit by pitch. And now Todd Laporte is at first on the error.
Well, the pitchers historically for the Bullets have fielded very well, and both Gina Satriano and Pamela Davis were flawless fielding their position until tonight.
Dave Laporte already has a single in this game. He's looking to get an RBI. Satriano needs to keep the ball down. Gets it high, and Shannon Kimberling wants to have a talk with her pitcher. The Colorado Silver Bullets taking the nation by storm. A 50-game schedule, 50 different cities. They don't have a home field. They play all semi-pro and all-star teams throughout the country, all men, making the adjustments they see fit, whether it be to the stadium, the pitcher, the batter, the weather. They do it all. 3-0 now to Laporte. Swing, strike one. Gina Satriano is in a jam, and it takes a lawyer to get out of it. Let's see if she can. 3-1 pitch. Called strike 2.
Gina has really not gotten very many breaks this year. While she's pitched not as well as last year, defensively, she's not gotten what she needed.
Foul back. Count stays at 3-2.
Gina was the first girl to play Little League in California. She played in 1973. So she may have been destined to be a part of this pioneering team.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases are juiced. And there's the shot to Tony Heisler. Could be a double play ball. Michelle McEnany to 1, and no, can't get the play first. Here's a play at home, and Shannon Kimberling drops the ball. So 2 runs come across for the Kalamazoo Yankees as they now take a 6-0 lead here in the top of the 8th.
I'm not sure. I probably don't have the angle up here in the booth, but that looked like a close play.
Take a look at the turn by McEnany. Just couldn't get rid of it in time and was taken out of the play. Lowell Chastain, though, was on his horse, and there is the mishandle of the ball by Shannon Kimberling. So 2 runs across. Chad Jancheski scores, and so does Lowell Chastain, and now the Silver Bullets are in a 6-0 hole.
Well, but I definitely don't have the angle up here. I didn't even see her bobble the ball. Very perceptive of Ivy, on her toes, did what she could. Again, Gina has not gotten very many breaks this year.
This is a pitch hitter. This is Rick Curtis coming in to get his first at-bat for the Kalamazoo Yankees. Curtis bats for the pitcher, Jeff Laporte, who now has taken himself out of the batting order as well as off the mound. Foul back.
Curtis is batting .222 for the Yankees.
Kalamazoo Yankees have put runners on in all but 2 innings. Silver Bullets, 6 errors in this baseball game.
Looks like Gina's curveball is not as sharp as it usually is. What she needs to do is really stay on top and pull down a little more.
One and two. Outside, ball 2. Boy, when she misses big. And when she gets the strike, it is a pretty meaty strike. So Rick Curtis now has worked the count to 2 and 2. 2 outs, hitting .222, runner on first. Fouls it back, count stays at 2 and 2. And this is where the Silver Bullets, the middle relievers and their closers, just got to come in and close the door.
You're absolutely right. I think one of the reasons they went with Satriano tonight is because the game was 4-0, and she hasn't performed as well this year as she had last year. They may be possibly saving Ranji, some of their other pitchers.
That is Satriano's 6th strikeout of the year, but not before 2 runs cross the plate. We're moving to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees lead 6-0. Kalamazoo pushes 2 runs across the plate there in the top of the 8th. Now take a 6-0 lead. New pitcher for the Kalamazoo Yankees is Jerry Howe. And folks, you gotta take a look at this guy's delivery. It is part Louis Tiant, part Hideo Nomo, and part Jerry Howe.
And quite herky-jerky.
6'2", 200 pounds, and quite a big leg kick for the man they call Jerry Howe.
Jerry says that his high leg kick and his forkball make up for his not knowing how to throw a curveball.
Angie Marzetta is the first batter to go up against Jerry Howe. And if you know a forkball, you know it comes straight across at the same arm speed as a fastball, and then it is supposed to drop right before it hits the plate. So we'll see how much of a forkball Mr. Howe has. He said he watched Louis Tiant when he was growing up, and that's kind of where he got his delivery.
Actually, he said he taught himself a forkball. In fact, he was a catcher in high school, a 2nd-string catcher, and not a very good one, so wanted to stay in the game, taught himself a forkball, and became a pitcher.
Angie Marzetta is not the player you want to hit. She was hit in 3 consecutive games during this season. The 3rd time, she almost charged the mound. Jerry, you're going to want to stay away from her. Big swing, ball is fly right now, and that's going to be an infield single for Angie Marzetta. While disappointed she may be, but she is just the 3rd hit for the Colorado Silver Bullets and a leadoff hitter here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, she's hit the ball well all night. It's kind of ironic that on this play she gets the hit. But I'll tell you, that's the 2nd accidental bunt hit that has worked for the Bullets.
Well, she's going to take it, her 9th hit of the season, and that's going to bring up Carrie Kropke. Now, there have been some games where we have seen the bottom of the order get it done. There have been some games where we've seen the top of the order get it done. This is 7, 8, 9 now, facing the high leg kick and Jerry Howe, so we'll see what Carrie Kropke can do. One to 0 to Carrie Kropke. An excuse me swing by Carrie Kropke, and that is popped out to the 2nd baseman, Dave Laporte. You get in good situations and you quickly take yourself out of them by an excuse me swing. And that's exactly what happened there off the bat of Carrie Krapke. So Krapke is out number 1, and Shannon Kimberling steps in.
Now batting, catcher number 2.
Kimberling 0 for 1 on the night. I'd like to see this young lady come alive with an RBI here. She works so hard at her conditioning and so hard on her game. Be nice if she can get the big payoff here.
Kimberling has the most offensive power of any of the catchers.
And that's including Elizabeth Burnham, the redhead, Missy Kress, who played with the Pittsburgh Pirates scout team, and this young lady, Shannon Kimberling.
She played at Oklahoma State for 4 years. She consistently hits the ball hard. She has incredible patience for a power hitter.
Played under the likes of Sandy Fisher for the Cowgirls softball team. Foul back. So Howe, in order to hold Angie Marzetta, cuts down on his leg kick a little bit.
It looks like, are those ankle braces on both of his ankles?
Or misplaced knee pads.
Or very, very poor fashion choice. What is that? Yes, they are.
And that is going to be a big swing, and the first strikeout victim for Jerry Howe as Shannon Kimberling goes down swinging.
Now batting for the Silver Bullets, second baseman.
Michelle McInerney going to try and make something happen. McAttack has a single in this baseball game, one of 3 Silver Bullet hits.
McInerney shares her father's number and her father's nickname. Seems a bit preoccupied with the runner on first with a 6-0 score. She's not much of a threat at this point. And one of the perks of Silver Bullet, being a Silver Bullet, is that you have a signature bat. And the only other baseball players to have signature bats are major leaguers. They make them much smaller for the Bullets, although they only get down to 32 and they're still quite heavy.
By 32, you mean ounces?
32 inches, excuse me. That would be about 30 ounces. They bone the bats. Hitting coach Johnny Grubb taught them how to do that. And they do that so they can get the fibers closer together, make the wood a little better.
That is the 33rd walk of the year for Michelle McInerney. She takes a free pass on 4 straight pitches, so now the Silver Bullets have runners on first and second. Explain what boning a bat means, Julie.
What it does is you're taking out some of the poor wood and you're getting the fibers closer together. What that does is it makes the bat more dense and not necessarily heavier. And by having a dense bat, the ball will travel further. We have Lori Guthrow pinch running.
Guthrow now in at first. Angie Marzetta at second. Jerry Howe is now in a pickle. The Hideo Nomo delivery lookalike is now in front of the batter Shannon Mitchum, 0-1.
Lori's kind of a nice story. She's played in 13 games so far this season. Last year, she was released after the team was announced. She only got into 1 game.
Shannon Mitchum, overdue in this baseball game. She is 0 for 2, drew a base on balls in the first inning. 209 hitter with 14 hits, has some of the best mechanics among the Silver Bullets.
She's also one of the more consistent Silver Bullets. Versatility and consistency, I think, are what have made Shannon Mitchum's career.
I think it makes any baseball player's career, to be
You're
honest
absolutely
with you.
right.
Big swing and a miss. 2-2 now to Shannon Mitchum. First time in the baseball game, the Silver Bullets have had runners on first and second, and we are in the bottom of the 8th. Mitchum, big swing, and the second strikeout victim for Jerry Howe. Silver Bullets come up empty. They trail 6-0. You're watching Silver Bullets baseball on your regional sports network. Our thanks go out to the Battle Creek Fire Department for providing our center field camera platform. We were in a pickle, and we want to thank the Battle Creek Fire Department for coming through and lending us one of their trucks so we could televise the Colorado Silver Bullets baseball game against the Kalamazoo Yankees from all angles. Taking a look at the shot provided out by that center field camera, and it has been a long night for some, but no more than that, young lady, as the Colorado Silver Bullets trail now 6-0 as we move to the top of the ninth. New pitcher for the Silver Bullets is Christine Monge. The right-hander comes in with a record of 1-1, a 3.27 ERA. Her last outing was about 2 weeks ago, where she pitched an inning, gave up a hit. And no runs, no errors, no base on balls, so she's just trying to get out of this very cleanly, get a little bit of work.
Monge is fresh off the DL. She's been out for quite a while with bursitis in her shoulder. And she actually struggled with a bicep strain earlier this season. The pitchers have really been cursed this year with the Bullets. And struggled to stay healthy.
Tom Vrobel is the first batter set to face Christine Monge. He is now 0-1. Strike two call. So Monge going to work very quickly here against Tom Vrobel.
Now Monge is definitely a rookie to watch. She has incredible star potential. She's very young, but her mentality and her composure is well beyond her years. So far this year, in 11 innings pitched, she's had 12 strikeouts.
Inside, count now 2-2. Christine Monge, the third Silver Bullet pitcher. Pam Davis started out the game, got into some trouble early, and she left. Score was 4-0. Gina Satriano came in. It was 6-0. Now Monge trying to go and get it done. Shannon Kimberling overruns the baseball, and that gives new life to Tom Vrobel.
That's a tough play for Shannon, because on a pop-up, ideally what you want your catcher to do is first throw the mask off and far out of the way, and then turn around and let the ball come into your chest, because the rotation of the ball is backwards.
So Vrobel gets another chance. Count 2-2 against Christine Monge. Victim and Tom Vrobel.
Great job by Monge. I tell you, Monge is one of the few pitchers whose role is cemented. A lot of the pitchers are starters, then closers, mid-relievers. She is strictly a reliever. Excuse me, strictly a closer.
She is just 21 years old, and she'll tell you she threw all fastballs at the tryout. And Joe Negro, the pitching coach for the Colorado Silver Bullets, has worked with her and really developed her into a finesse pitcher, if you will. Now, Julie, I know a lot of these girls have had the chance to play with some men pro teams, you included, Leanne Ketchum included, and one of your cohorts has made it to the show, if you will.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. One of the players, Brian Ricard, that we played with in the Hawaii Winter Baseball League, was a single-A player going in. He went up from AA to AAA and got his first major league start for the Rockies the other night. Beanie and I are very proud of him. We want to tell him that we knew you'd make it. We just didn't think he'd make it that fast. Great guy. Very helpful. He worked with Beanie a lot on her mechanics.
Our congratulations go out to him. Dave Back sends a towering fly to left field. Kerry Krapke is under it, and the steady left fielder gloves it for out number 2.
You know, you almost take Kerry Krapke for granted. When you see it going out there, you kind of assume she's going to make the play, and you assume she's going to hit her cutoff.
Left fielder, number 4.
So Monge has been, I guess, if you will, the steadiest Silver Bullet pitcher. 2 up, 2 down, and that's going to bring up Nib Reisterer. We'll see if Manji can get him out. 1, 2, 3. He has yet to get a hit in this baseball game. Now to Nib Reisterer. Silver Bullets have an ambitious schedule. In 2 days, they go to Geneva, Illinois. 2 days after that, Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then 3 days after that, our next televised baseball game in Reno, Nevada against the Reno Diamonds. Count now 3-0 to Nib Reisterer.
Now Manji very rarely gets this behind the count. One of her strong points is that she throws strikes. She does not miss in general unless she wants to miss.
She's given up just 6 base on balls the entire year. Strike one. Christine Manji makes her home in Briar, Washington. This is her first year with the Colorado Silver Bullets, and she has aspirations of sticking with this team for a couple of years if she can. Shot to the second baseman, McEnany. She gloves it. Round number 3. So 3 up and 3 down. Silver Bullets getting out of it. It's time to get something done with the bats. We're coming back for the last chance for the Silver Bullets.
Hi, I'm Leslie Goodell. Join Larry.
Due to time constraints, we move ahead in tonight's Colorado Silver Bullets telecast. Count now 0-1. Stacy Sonny in scoring position. Silver Bullets trying to break that 0 mark. 0-2 now to Tamara Ivy. The Louis Tion / Hideo Nomo. Jerry Howe gets Tamara Ivy swinging for strike 2. Outside high.
Now Stacy's not in a very familiar role, although she is responsible for many of the RBIs. She herself has not scored very often.
Shot to the gap, and that is going to push a run across the plate. Here comes Stacy Sonny, and Tamara Ivy gets the first Silver Bullet RBI of the baseball game.
Great job by Tamara Ivy avoiding the shutout. I know that the coaches for the Silver Bullet team have been waiting for her to do that. They know she's capable of doing that. You see here, she uses her lower half really well, generates a lot of power. Good location. Ball had eyes. Sonny taking advantage. Scores for only the 4th time for her this year.
So Tamara Ivy picks up her 6th RBI in the season. Nice work by Tamara Ivy, and Tony Heisler looks to keep it going. 2-0 now to Tony Heisler. Boy, it's a case of being patient, perhaps letting Jerry Howe being his worst enemy and going out there and looking for some walks as he stepped up.
Well, the Kalamazoo Yankees have lost 5 games in the bottom of the 9th.
Little dribbler back to Howe. He's going to go to first for the sure thing. And Heisler grounds into out number 2.
That was an interesting move. It looked like he had time for the double play there, don't you think?
Well, when you're in your 40s, you're going to take what you can get.
Take what you can see, and you can see her going to first.
It's up to Angie Marzetta. Well, she's got a lot of work in front of her. Marzetta is one of the Silver Bullets who's got a single tonight. She has been swinging the bat well, although the single was just a little dribbler. Taking it back. Ivy in scoring position. Bottom of the 9th. And boy, they like to come inside on that lefty, Angie Marzetta.
She must be a human magnet. I'll tell you, she leads the team with being hit by pitch. She's been hit 4 times. In fact, the Silver Bullets themselves have been hit 23 times.
Inside again, and look at Marzetta. Look at the pitcher, Jerry Howe. We told you she almost charged the mound one time this season. And I don't know if we get a shot at Joe and Phil Negro, but they don't want to be out there when their female baseball player charges the pitcher.
But one of the things Phil brags about actually is that this is the first professional team he's been affiliated with, and that no one's been in jail, no one's been arrested, and no one's been in a fight.
Enough said about that. Tamara Ivy now in scoring position. Angie Marzetta, well, she's got her war gear on. 3 pitches that'll come high and inside. See what she could do here. That is ball 4. She gives Jerry Howe the quick, evil eye and motors down to first base.
Very common for Marzetta. Outstanding eye at the plate. That's her 14th walk on the season. She has an on-base percentage of over 400.
Now batting for the Silver Bullets, left fielder, number
Phil
46,
and Joe Negro
Carrie
still have life here. Carrie Kropke. Trying to keep the inning alive. Silver Bullets have pushed across the run here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, Kropke's another one of the players who has potential for extra bases. She has the potential to turn those outfielders around. And Phil and Joe Negro would like to see nothing more right here.
The delivery, the shot down to third base, that's foul. Carrie Kropke. Tremendous catch in left field earlier in this game to rob the Kalamazoo Yankees of an extra base hit. And now a chance to be the offensive star. 2 runners on, 2 outs, 1-1 here in the 9th. Ball high, 2-1. Off the mask of Dave back. Kropke, a nice cut though. Crop now 2-2.
Now it seems with Jerry's delivery that they may take some kind of chance here. It is so long, so sweeping, and so timely.
2-2, 2 out. Carrie Kropke inside, ball 3. Runners will be going on this pitch. Jerry Howe has his work cut out for him. 3-2. The grounder down the third baseline is foul.
You have to wonder if Jerry's daughters are rooting for him. You saw him in the open talking about how they were rooting for the women, but maybe in the end they'd root for good old dad.
48-year-old Jerry Howe is taking the heat literally tonight here in Battle Creek. This is the payoff pitch. Runners will be going. 3-2, 2 out, bottom of the 9th. Fouled back by Carrie Kropke.
It's a great at-bat for Carrie Kropke. She's fouling off what she doesn't want, trying to get her pitch.
Outside, and the bases are loaded. Here in the bottom of the 9th. Patience pays off for the Colorado Silver Bullets as both Angie Marzetta and Carrie Kropke have drawn back-to-back walks. And that's going to bring up a pitch hitter, Kara Kogenauer.
Now, Kara Kogenauer has made her money primarily as a DH, actually only as a DH for the Bullets. And as you see, her average is not impressive, but she hits when it matters. She is a clutch hitter. She is batting .500 with the bases loaded.
Kara Kogenauer, 6 RBIs, 2 doubles. Oh, takes strike 2.
The crowd doesn't seem to like that call very much.
So Kogenauer quickly in a hole here against Jerry Howe and the Kalamazoo Yankees. 0-2. couldn't come up with the win. Colorado's Silver Bullets fall to the Kalamazoo Yankees 6-1.
Welcome to the Prime Pro Shop Sports Hotspot. The Super